Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. It's Cynicalex. And before I give you my first impressions on the Spider-Verse Spider-Man Tier 4 update, I wanted to give a quick shout out to OXRXNXJ and actually underneath that, the Funko Pops Alliance. They are an alliance that is looking for, quote, all game mode casual players looking to help carry new players in GBR, Alliance Conquest, Alliance Battle Extreme, etc. So they're looking for new players. This is sort of a small community of friends who have an alliance who now want to extend that friendly alliance to the general public. And they reached out to me, Philip J. Fry, this guy, reached out to me and asked me to do a little shout out so that Funko Pops Alliance can get some more attention. So if you're in the neighborhood for a new alliance, hit up Funko Pops and hopefully you find a new home. It's super important to have a good alliance in MFF, and hopefully they have like a Discord group or something like that so you can communicate. Anywho, jumping into the update itself, I think people are going to be a bit divided as far as my initial impressions go, because my initial impressions are not too overwhelmingly positive for the star of the show, Spider-Man. This is his back to basics uniform. I'm going to quickly go through the optionals we have for him before I get to talking about everything else. We got Hawkeye Kate Bishop, we got Juggernaut Fear Itself, War Machine 3099, Infinity Ultron What If, and then the battery below 20% with Odin Allfather. So decent options, but yeah, seeing the native tier 2 there hurts, in addition to the paywall Juggernaut, and then the other ones are all right. They're just, the thing is, they're just all right. They're not great optional uniforms. As far as the production, the productivity, the increase in power for this uniform, it's going to be difficult because you're competing with two different uniforms, right? He didn't get a synergy uniform this time around, and as we all know with Spider-Man before, this one was for PvP and this one was for PvE. So at least from my initial testings, what I've seen is he's better overall, right? This one new uniform is better for PvP than this one, and it's also better for PvE than this one. But the initial result is that it's not that much better. It's not blowing my socks off. It's not really getting me excited for the character. He does hit really hard in PvP against a lot of the incumbent villain meta like Gore and Jean Grey and Hulk, because he has that crazy 60% increased damage to villains. And then you combine that with the 50% damage, enemy damage decrease. Like, he ignores 50% of their damage decrease, which is really nice. But yeah, I think some people are going to be disappointed with Spidey. They're kind of expecting him to just blow every other speed type out of the water, and it doesn't seem like he's doing that, at least initially. Maybe at tier 4 it's different, maybe at level 80 it's different, of course. But whereas, you know, Black Widow was this, or you know, what's her name, Shadow Shell was that, Spidey is kind of, you know, he's kind of just existing. I think Miles is better. Let's put it this way. I think Miles is better for PvE at level 70 than Spidey, for specifically for PvE content. So, you know, again, Spidey can go higher than that. He can go to level 80, etc. But yeah, as far as the other two characters, of course, we got Chasm, and then we got Arachnite 2099. These ones, surprisingly, are pretty good. Arachnite, very proc friendly, pretty flashy animations, looks really cool. The only thing I don't like about him is that little shield on his right hand, but quite nice. As far as his uniform options go, we've got Medusa, Dr. Octopus, Sunbird, Nightcrawler, and Scarlet Witch. A little bit better than Spidey's, but not too much better. Still a native tier 2. And then for Chasm, I think he's going to be the dark horse of the update. I think this is the character that people are going to end up being the most excited about. He has very, very high stats, as you can see there. Well, we're using Maya Lopez's leadership, but still, he's got decent stats for a character that's, you know, just coming back to the meta after a long time away from the Scarlet Spidey one. For his optionals, we've got Thor: Love and Thunder, which is very good, Mr. Sinister, Wong, Mr. Fantastic, and then Crossbones. So a little bit better, I would say, than the other two. Still not outstanding because you have that native tier 2 there, but it sort of is what it is. Also very proc friendly, very cool animations, and of course his static animation is insane. Like this Dragon Ball Z level drip is just so cool. The devs have to do this more often. I really hope new upgraded characters like Kang, when Sentry gets a uniform, when Adam Warlock gets into the uniform. I really hope they bring this sort of like glowing effect to more characters because it looks so badass. It looks insane. But yeah, I was pleasantly surprised with Chasm's performance. I thought it was good, especially because he is such a rare typing, being a speed villain. As far as his ABX performance versus Green Goblin, it was pretty similar at tier 3, which means that at tier 2, Green Goblin's just going to be straight up better. So I don't know if he's going to actually end up replacing Green Goblin or end up making a dent in the ABX meta right now for speed villains. The ABX meta right now for speed villains is kind of awkward because you have a combination of different characters working together. It's not just one character. Like, sure, you can just use Green Goblin for all of the days and get a good score, but if you want to be competitive, you have to use, of course, Black Cat, but then you also have to use Electro, but then you also have to use Gamora. So fitting Chasm, Scarlet Spider's Dark Web uniform into that rotation, he may not have a place, but I think he still is a solid character as far as the damage goes and as far as his World Boss Legend production goes, and he's super duper fun to play. Like, he's got gorgeous, let me just show you the skills really quickly. Gorgeous skills here, especially his 5th skill. He pulls these 2 like sewage containers together, and then he throws a train on you, and then that explodes, which is sick. The only downside to his kit is that he gets guard broken during this skill. It's a gorgeous skill, but he doesn't have an iframe, and he doesn't have guard break immunity from like a super armor or from an invincibility effect, so he can get interrupted during that. But yeah, a really easy rotation for him would just be 3 cancel 5, delayed cancel 4, and then you get all of those hits and the explosion and everything. Absolutely gorgeous. But what's even better is his tier 3. Absolutely insane, very high burst damage here on the tier 3, and actually very high sustained damage. So you actually don't want to cancel the tier 3, but you want to let it play out, which I love doing. So your rotation when you have the tier 3 is to do 3 cancel 5, delayed cancel, 4 cancel 6. And so you pass the damage proc on 4 over to 6, and he just goes absolutely berserk. Really high damage. Cannot wait to show you guys the gameplay footage of that. I do have a CTP of energy on him still from way back in the day, but he does perform super duper well. As far as Spidey goes, if we just go back a little bit to this character, I haven't transcended, for those of you wondering, I haven't transcended Weapon Hex or Ghost Panther or the other one, Iron Hammer, yet. So I still have to cover those characters a little bit later, but they're just sort of transcendences without uniform, so it's not exactly the same scenario. I mean, Ghost Panther is a very good support, don't get me wrong, but it's just not the same situation as the other characters. So yeah, going back to Spider-Man briefly, the issue I think a lot of people are going to have is they changed too many things in sort of the wrong direction. So although this uniform is faster, and although this uniform does have better, damage, whatever, for PvP, there aren't any cancelable skills. So he's got really nice skills, but you can't really cancel any of them. You can cancel 4 when he throws those discs, but that's basically the end of the skill. And then you get the same tier 3 as before, so you can obviously instant cancel that, or you can let it play out. It's up to you, but nothing new there, despite the name change. And then for the 5th skill, you also can't cancel anything. He also doesn't have very many hits. That's 74 hits across 3 targets, so that's only 25 hits, right, for one skill. And because you can't really combo these skills, you end up with a rotation that looks something like this. You do 3 cancel 4, and then right at the end you delay cancel that into 5. I actually didn't do it correctly there, but you wait till he basically throws the discs, and then you cancel into 5 as it explodes. That's kind of your best case scenario. So the best case scenario for Spidey is 105 hits without the tier 3. That's okay. It's only like 33, 34 hits per enemy. Some high-end DPS monsters for PvE are doing 60, 70 hits per regular rotation with the amount of chain hit that they're able to combine with their skills. And then as far as PvP goes for Spidey, because of course that's the other thing, you're gonna be like, okay, if he's not that good for PvE, he has to be like the bomb for PvP. Yeah, he seems to be good for PvP. He hits very hard because of that 60% increased damage to villains and because of that damage ignore, or the damage reduction ignore. But the problem is he's very, very fragile defensively. He still gets one tapped very easily, and that is with a build that has the max amount of HP. Like, I literally could not give him more HP if I wanted to, unless I re-rolled his uniform effect to give him more HP, but that's literally the only way, right? So we're over 100,000 HP, and he still very easily gets one tapped by different skills. It's kind of a bummer. I'll show you guys one clip here. Take on one of the top Vibranium players here with Gore and Hulk. Jean Grey is banned this week in Vibranium, so that's why you're not seeing Jean on this team. I'm not saying that this is the best team for Hulk, for Spider-Man, by the way. This is just the one that I was rocking with earlier. So you'll see that if he doesn't die here, he's going to basically one-tap Gore, which is insane, super high damage. But if he doesn't kill him, he gets withered away. Not enough healing, not enough sustainability to really make it work, and that's essentially how it's playing out right now. I don't know if it'll be that much different at level 80, at tier 4. Obviously, he's going to get more HP, but it may be sort of like a high risk, high reward type PvP character, kind of like Adam Warlock, where it's like kill or be killed, and I'm not a huge fan of those types. He doesn't have a revive, he doesn't have the immortality artifact, and I do have the 5-star artifact on him, so it doesn't get much better than this for him as far as the PvP build goes. Obviously, I could give him like the CTP is the last step for his PvP build, right? That's it. And then, of course, getting him to level 80, getting him to tier 4. But yeah, not sure. I'm going to leave it, you know, give it more time to test. I'm not going to give you my final verdict on Spider-Man yet, but I do think people are going to pick him up, expect him to just like blow their socks off, like really just destroy the game. And then he doesn't, and then you're just like, oh, is he bad? Like hashtag buff Spidey. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, those are my initial impressions on this update. There's no actual content besides the event world boss that we already covered. I mean, this is amazing. But other than that, just enjoy the Spider-Verse and more videos to come, webheads. So yeah, cornball over here, over and out. Hit me up in the comments down below. Smash the like button. Thank you so much for supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.